Why does this matter? People show up differently when they are invested. That's just a known fact, right? It's a different kind of energy. I'm talking my therapy services. I have a few that pay out of pocket. They do show up differently than some of my other ones. If you want a good return on investment, you are more motivated, you are more accountable, you follow through more, right? Like that just naturally happens when you are investing a decent amount of money into something. When you spend more on something, you show up differently. Even in my own life, I have noticed that.
Welcome to Next Level You podcast. I'm Stephanie Dingbaum, your host, your biggest cheerleader, and your go-to girlfriend for real, raw, and uplifting conversations about leveling up in life. As a mental health therapist with over a decade of experience and a business coach helping women elevate their lives and businesses, I'm here to guide you through the mindset shifts, holistic practices, and manifestation tools you need to step into your most authentic, next level self. Whether you're here to ignite your personal growth, elevate your professional game, or simply rediscover you, this podcast is your invitation to dream bigger, go after your goals, and unapologetically claim the life you deserve. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's dive in. It's time to up-level, manifest, and glow.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Next Level You podcast. I am so excited to be here today. I have just had such an expansive day today. Tuesdays are my coaching days, and that is when I am recording this. And this morning, our local female entrepreneur group hosted a speaker. Her name is Stephanie Ross. She came to our group all the way from La Crosse, Wisconsin. And I met Stephanie over a year ago at my first Powerhouse Women conference, and we totally hit it off. If you've listened to previous episodes, you've heard this story. It was very synchronistic how we met. But anyways, I brought Stephanie to our local entrepreneur group because she recently wrote and published a book, Seasons of a Soulpreneur, and she is doing a Midwestern book tour. And so we got to kick off the month of September by hosting her at our meeting. And she talked to our group all about building a soul-aligned business, seasons of owning a business. It was such a powerful talk. I got so much out of it, and just the community, just sharing stories and helping each other out. And what I really loved is Stephanie, the speaker, Stephanie Ross, had us go around and share what's one thing that we need to take off our plate or delegate. And the whole point of this was like, if there's someone in the room who can help you or support you with this, like, let's share stories, let's share ideas. And that was so helpful. One, because there's always something we need to delegate. Like, there's always something I feel I need to take off my plate. And there was ways, like, multiple people were able to help me, and I was able to help multiple people. And that's just the power of community, right? So I loved that exercise. I just loved this whole experience. It really was an expansive day for me. And we have these monthly meetings, and every time it fills my cup up, but I can't express enough how grateful I am for this group, because what I'm learning from some of my current and past coaching clients is there are a lot of female entrepreneurs that feel like they are lacking that community and that support. And I am over here, and I am in the opposite, where I feel like, gosh, I am so grateful to truly have an abundance of women around me, supporting me, who are doing similar things, who are similar mindset, but are also building their business and scaling their businesses. And it's just so encouraging to be around that energy and to just really congregate and collaborate with these women and realize, like, I'm not alone. We are all going through this together. It's just so helpful and so expansive, and I can't express that enough. Okay, you guys. So what I really want to talk to you guys about today is why coaching can sometimes be more valuable than therapy. I am both a therapist and a coach, so I feel like I'm the perfect person to talk to this topic. But also as somebody who has accessed therapy for myself and has accessed coaching for myself. So I'm coming at it from multiple angles. This idea came to me a few weeks ago, and I put it into my notes app in my phone, all these different ideas that were coming to me and why I feel the way I do. And I'm like, this really needs to be a podcast episode. I initially was putting it into my phone because I thought this would be perfect for content creation for Instagram. But then I decided, no, you need to go on the podcast and talk about this. But I want you to understand that whether you're a coach or a therapist or both, no disrespect. There is room for both. There's a time and a place for both. Hello, I do both. So obviously I feel that way. In the recent past, I have realized that I'm seeing more and more value out of the coaching side of things. And so that's why I'm talking about this to you guys today. As a reminder, I am a licensed therapist. I fully believe in the power of therapy. I'm not dissing therapy in any way, shape, or form. I have, like I said before, I have personally benefited from it. But today, I really want to unpack why I think coaching can sometimes move the needle even faster for people. Okay. And again, I cannot stress this enough because I don't want anyone to come at me with their negativity, but this is not therapy bashing, okay? I see a lot of value in going to therapy. I encourage a lot of people in my family, in my circle, extended friends, you name it. I encourage people to go. So obviously I know that there is value to that. This is about sharing perspective and experience, not about doing any kind of bashing, okay? I just want to make sure I make myself very clear on that. Okay, let's dive in. So obviously, like I said, there is a lot of value in going to therapy. I recognize that there are so many strengths that you can gain from attending therapy sessions regularly or even just like monthly. It doesn't necessarily have to be weekly or biweekly, but even just like a monthly check-in can be extremely valuable. What I see as strengths of therapy is that you are being provided a safe place where you can actually be vulnerable. And while, yes, you can get that from coaching too, therapy is meant to be a very therapeutic environment. The sessions are typically structured. It's a place where you go to heal trauma and explore your mental health. That's not necessarily what you do in coaching unless it's like a mental health coach. But even that, I mean, I feel like there's more value in therapy, but I've just never heard of a mental health coach, though I'm sure there's some out there. Another strength of going to therapy and why I think it's important is it's covered by insurance. So it's going to save you money. And while I think that's great, that's why a lot of people are able to go. I actually also think that is what limits people from sometimes making progress is because you don't have a lot of skin in the game. You're not investing a lot of money into it. So it's easy to not always follow through on like tasks or homework or to-dos that come out of those sessions. But the fact that it is covered by insurance makes it more accessible. So we are lucky in that way. From personal experience, I paid out of pocket for hypnotherapy for 6 years. And I think I was more invested because I knew I was paying for those sessions. So I feel I got more out of it that way. And then another strength of therapy is that long-term support to work through those deeper issues often. Though I will say, I feel I have worked through some really deep issues in coaching as well. But what I love about therapy is we can really dive into like that inner child work. We can really dive into past traumas. And I really don't feel that coaching is a place to work through your traumas. I don't feel that's the appropriate avenue for exploring and diving into your traumas. I really think that needs to be done with a trained therapist or counselor. So those are strengths that I see specifically for therapy. And I will say that, so I started doing talk therapy way back when I think it was 2014 or 2015. I think it was 2014. It was after a difficult breakup that I started. I saw a lot of value in that. That very first therapist that I went to, she was a holistic therapist. She met me where I was at. We did a lot of work around shame and vulnerability. We incorporated a lot of like Brene Brown work into my sessions. And that like opened the door for me with my personal development journey. So that was really, really powerful for me. All of that work was. I stayed with her all the way up until 2016 or 2017. And then I switched therapists and started seeing a hypnotherapist in the area. And then I feel like the hypnotherapist, like I said, I was paying out of pocket for those services. So I feel like the hypnotherapist really catapulted my healing journey in a way that my previous therapist was not. While I see a lot of value in talk therapy, and I myself currently practice talk therapy, I think hypnotherapy and EMDR and like there's others too that I'm drawing a blank on, like rapid resolution therapy is one, and I'm sure there's others that I'm not thinking of. But those types of therapies I feel are even more powerful because you are doing deeper work. You're really getting under or into the root cause of things. So it's not just like surface level conversation. Not that talk therapy is, obviously it's not. I mean, you're still digging into things, but you're healing things through hypnotherapy that you're not always able to heal through just regular talk therapy. And it can really cut the amount of sessions like in half doing hypnotherapy versus talk therapy, which is why my goal is to eventually be a certified hypnotherapist. And I don't know if you guys know that, but that's been on my vision board for the last 2 years. So I'm really trying to move the needle on that.
Hey there, listeners. Are you ready to elevate your mindset and manifest your goals? If you're a female entrepreneur or someone who's been dreaming of starting your own business, I have something so exciting to share with you. I'm Stephanie Dingbaum, and I've just launched my 12-week coaching program, The Up-Level Method. It is designed to help you gain clarity, build confidence, and create the soul-aligned business and life that you've been dreaming of. So here's what you'll all get in the program. Weekly one-on-one coaching calls tailored specifically to meet your goals. Voxer access for real-time support and accountability throughout the week from me. Customized tools like journal prompts, meditations, and follow-up emails to keep you aligned and on track throughout the week. Plus, guidance to overcome imposter syndrome, rewrite limiting beliefs, and shift into an abundance mindset. The Up-Level Method isn't just about checking off goals. It's about helping you step into your power as a CEO, make decisions that light you up, and build a business that feels truly authentic to who you are. And the best part? The current pricing is literally the lowest that it will ever be. If you're even slightly considering it, lock it in now, because this investment in your future self will pay off tenfold, I promise you. Payment plans are available, so don't let finances hold you back from stepping into your best self. This is your chance to stop second guessing and start showing up for your business and life with purpose and intention. If this feels aligned, DM or email me today to set up a free clarity call. Let's see if the Up-Level Method is the right fit for you. All the details are in the show notes. This is your time. Let's make 2025 the year you up-level everything.
Okay, so pivoting a little bit, here's where I see coaching creating a different type of momentum. Okay, first of all, the investment factor. So with therapy being covered by insurance, I personally feel that clients don't feel the same financial sting as my coaching clients do. With coaching, I've invested anywhere from a couple thousand to, I think the most I've invested in coaching up to date is like 5,000. So if I'm paying more than 1,000 for coaching, like you bet your ass I'm like, there better be some skin in the game. Okay. Like I am going to be actively doing what you're giving me, like moving the needle forward, taking any advice that's being given, like using the tools you're sharing with me. You bet your ass I'm doing all of that because I paid for this. I better get something out of it, right? Like you expect, if you're investing a decent amount, that you expect a good ROI for you, for your business. So I don't see that with therapy though, because they're not always paying for the sessions. So it's easy to just like, okay, I'll see you next week, but not do anything between sessions. I know that's not every single client, but I feel more often than not, that is what happens. And I know there's outliers out there. I was one of them, okay? But I'm just saying in general that when insurance covers it, when you're not paying out of pocket for it, it's easy to just not do anything between sessions because you know it's being covered and all you have to do is sometimes pay that copay and then come the following week. Because coaching has such a significant financial investment and it's almost always an out-of-pocket investment. It is one of those things that people just naturally are more invested. They're moving forward. They're putting action steps into place because they want to see a big ROI. Why does this matter? People show up differently when they are invested. That's just a known fact, right? It's a different kind of energy. They show up differently. I'm talking my therapy services. I have a few that pay out of pocket. They do show up differently than some of my other ones. They want an ROI. So if you want a good return on investment, you are more motivated. You are more accountable. You follow through more, right? Like that just naturally happens when you are investing a decent amount of money into something. When you spend more on something, you show up differently. Okay. Even in my own life, I have noticed that. So examples for my own private practice that I've noticed is that there are some therapy clients, and I've heard this from other therapists too, so I know this is not just my practice, but there are some clients where, especially if the session is completely covered, it can be really easy to just coast through therapy, not do anything between sessions, just show up for your sessions, barely be engaged. I don't see that very often, but I know it happens. I have seen it before. But then it can be really easy when you show up with that mindset to just feel stuck for months and years and not make any progress at all. Because if there's no accountability or no reason to move the needle forward, you're not investing anything in this process, then does it really matter? I've seen that mindset before. Is it a healthy one? No, but I see it. It's happened. Whereas my coaching clients, or just coaching clients in general, they move a lot quicker, they commit to their homework, and they apply the tools because they've paid for this transformation. When you are paying for results, you are going to put into practice whatever is being given to you. I've done that myself, and I see that with all of the coaching clients I've ever worked with. There is just, you are more motivated. You want to see the needle moving in a big way. In the past coaching that I've done with Julia Martin, that was the most I've ever invested in coaching. And so I noticed, because I really bumped up how much I was investing that time, I really noticed how I moved the needle even further than I ever had before with previous coaching client or coaches that I've worked with. And because I had that mindset about it, I felt like not only did the coaching container like completely fly by, but I felt like the growth from that was exponential. And that's how I want my coaching clients to feel. Like, I hope they are fully invested, and then they're going to move the needle in a big way. And it's going to prove to them like this was worth every dollar. I love that. Okay. There's also just different energies with therapy versus coaching. And I want to kind of talk to that here briefly. With therapy, it's often past focused. So there's like that slow burn. You're uncovering and healing things. And it's really important for trauma and any kind of clinical struggle. So any diagnosis that you've had given to you clinically, then it's really important to address those things in therapy. But with coaching, we're more future focused. It's more action oriented. And it's really more about building and expanding your mindset or your skills, and less about going deep and less about undercovering root causes and things like that. I do that with my therapy clients, but I don't necessarily do that with all of my coaching clients. And for coaching, clients are actively signing up to change their reality. You're not going to sign up for a coaching container unless you want to see something change in your life. You're going to actually try and process these things because you want to see that change. All of my current coaching clients and past ones, they wanted to see that mindset change. And they do because they are financially invested in it. So there's something to be said about that role of accountability. You're going to see more forward momentum when that accountability is higher, which you tend to see with coaching. Again, this is not to say that coaching is better than therapy, but because there is more intentionality behind the investment, clients are primed more for growth. They're just already in that headspace of change. Whereas sometimes I get therapy clients who I have to slowly push them into the change process. They're not already automatically there. Whereas every coaching client that I've had to date, they are in the change process. They are ready. They're in the front seat of the car next to me. I am going to drive the car, and they are here for the ride. That's a completely different kind of energy though. And you really do see progress more quickly with coaching because there's a higher buy-in, right? So this last time, because I invested so much in my coaching, you bet your ass I was buying into everything that was being told to me because it felt aligned though, not because I have to buy into it. I only really work with coaches that I feel align with me. My word of the year is soul aligned, and I don't agree to anything, any coaching container or any investment of any kind unless it feels soul aligned. And that would be my recommendation for any listener as well. Don't say yes to something that doesn't feel aligned I know some people will say, well, I just have a hard time saying no to people. But like, if you're the one investing the money, you can say no to whoever the hell you want. You don't owe that to anybody. It's your money paying for coaching. So you don't need to say yes to something that doesn't feel right, doesn't feel like a good fit, or doesn't feel aligned. But at the end of the day, the reason I'm saying all of this is because when you put more into it, you are going to get more out of it. So because you're putting more into a coaching container, you're more likely to get more out of it. When you're putting more into your therapy sessions, you're more likely to get more out of it. I do think there's something to be said about that. A client comes into therapy with the mindset of like, this is all being covered. That doesn't always mean they're going to just coast by, but that energy I have seen that energy with clients in the past. They're not getting anything out of it. And then I see them tell me time after time, like they don't do anything between sessions. And so it's like, why are you even coming? But those are few and far between, I feel. Okay. While I think there are value to both coaching and therapy, I do want you to understand that both serve different purposes. Like I said before, therapy is very much to do that deep level healing, help you to stabilize if you're struggling with any mental health conditions, and it can be that long-term support, which I feel we all need that from time to time. Like there's nothing wrong with doing a monthly therapy check-in. I myself do that and I find it extremely valuable. And just in general, and I know I'm biased because I'm a therapist, but I honestly think everybody should be seeing a therapist. Everybody. I think the world would be a much better place if we all were seeing a therapist. End of rant. I'll get off my soapbox now. So anyways, yes, therapy is very much that healing energy to help you stabilize and to give you that long-term support, though it doesn't have to be long-term. And then coaching is more accelerated. So you're going to see progress a lot more quickly. It's accelerated in general in terms of like the amount of time that you're doing it. And it's going to expand you. Because it's more accelerated, it's going to expand you in a big way, especially if you are more invested in it. And you are going to step into a new level of yourself, whether it's a mindset coach, whether it's a business coach, whether it's a manifestation coach, whether it's a financial coach, a money coach. I don't know, there's so many different kinds out there. Health coach. You are going to feel like a new version of yourself in the end because of how accelerated the programs usually are and how expansive they are for you. And you can even benefit from doing both at the same time. In fact, I love it when I have coaching clients who tell me that, oh yeah, I'm also seeing a therapist. Hallelujah, that is freaking great. Everybody should be, at some point in the year, I see a lot of value in like working with a coach at some point, and then also seeing a therapist at the same time. You are going to have so much growth from doing both at the same time. There's no rule saying you can't, okay? You could get so much benefit from that. Highly recommend that. Okay, that's really all I have for you guys today. I just really wanted to emphasize that I have just noticed lately how much growth I'm seeing in my coaching clients. And there's a part of me that's like, gosh, I wish I was seeing this growth in my therapy clients too. And while it's not that I'm not, I do have some that are like heavily invested in their therapy progress, but I just feel like it's slower. And I was having a conversation with a fellow coach a couple days ago, and he talked about how he was saying like, oh, I just love that you're both a therapist and a coach. I'm like, yeah, I love it too. I said, it's just interesting though, because I feel like I'm making a bigger impact as a coach because I'm having much faster turnaround of clients because they're only with me for 12 weeks at a time. And then I start a new cohort. Whereas some of my therapy clients I've been seeing from day one, which is not a bad thing. I love that. In fact, I love that clients are still with me. That's a win for me. That means I'm doing a good job, I feel. I mean, maybe that's not true, but I feel that way. And so I love that. But it's just to say that I'm not able to have as much of a turnaround. Like I've been turning down therapy clients for the last 6 months. Of course, it was 3 months before maternity leave. And then since I've been back from maternity leave, I'm still turning down new clients because I'm so full and I can't bring a new one on until I have more availability in my schedule. And so it's just because it's more long term and sometimes people aren't as invested, you don't see as much of a turnaround. And that's not a bad thing necessarily, but it's just more something that I've noticed. And so I was sharing that with him. That's what really got the juices rolling, thinking about this more and more. So I just had to share that with you guys as well. But again, coaching accelerates transformation because of the investment and the commitment that it demands from you. And therapy, you are going to see more of a benefit if you are more invested in it. Not necessarily financially, but if you are just like really holding yourself accountable, you're going to see, I mean, that to me seems like basic knowledge, but I still think it's worth saying. Okay. So I really encourage you guys to do some reflecting on this. Like, where in your life do you feel you need deeper healing? And where do you need forward momentum? If there's an area of your life where you feel like you need deeper healing, highly encourage you to consider reaching out to a therapist. If you are in the Eastern Iowa area, reach out to me. I can give you referrals. Like I said, I'm full, but I'm happy to give you referrals. And then answer the question, where do you feel you need forward momentum? You know, like my current coaching clients, they would say they need forward momentum with their mindset. I have some therapy clients that work with health coaches. I have friends that work with health coaches because they want to see more momentum in that area. They want to try and lose weight, or they want to try and feel more confident about their body, or whatever it might be. I have worked with coaches on money mindset. I mean, there's so many different ways you could answer that, but answer those questions. Where in your life do you need deeper healing, and where do you need forward momentum? That could be very telling. And if you want, you could DM me your answers. I would love to hear from you. Okay. If you're curious about coaching, I will share information for my 12-week coaching program, the Uplevel Method, in the show notes. And if you're intrigued by this, feel free to DM me. We can set up a clarity call to see if you're a good fit to work with. And I also would just love to hear your thoughts on this topic, because I think it's a very intriguing topic. And I'd be curious if other coaches have a similar mindset or not. And if you have accessed coaching before, I'd love to hear your take on this topic as well, if you see the same difference between therapy and coaching. Okay, guys. Well, until next week, have a great rest of your week. And I look forward to talking to you guys next week.
Real quick before you go, I just want to thank you so much for spending a little time with me today. And congratulations on showing up for you. Every step you take to invest in yourself brings you that much closer to your next level self, and I'm so proud of you. If you loved this episode, share it with someone who could use a little inspiration, or take a screenshot and tag me on socials so we can keep spreading the next level you energy. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Let's freaking go!